Hey everybody, it's Jody and I am back with a very special review for you today. Today we are going to be reviewing the Blackbird Clara, which is a concert-sized pineapple-shaped ukulele made out of a special material called eKoa, which we will be discussing in a few moments. But before we do that, I wanted to talk to you about how I came to own this ukulele and why. This instrument first kind of came on my radar about 8 months ago. The Southern Ukulele Store, which is a store in the UK, who also has a really nice and informative YouTube channel, posted a video about, I believe it was like the top 12 instruments models of 2018 or something like that. And one of the instruments they featured was the Blackbird Clara. And as soon as they got to the sound sample, it stopped me in my tracks. I was so surprised by the sound that was coming out of this concert ukulele. And obviously we're gonna be hearing a lot more of that in this review. But I looked it up immediately and saw that it was well over $1,000, and I just knew it wasn't something that I was going to be able to purchase new anytime soon. And so I decided to just kind of keep my eyes open and see if anybody ever was selling one used. And 8 months later, I found somebody selling one used. And I emailed her right away and asked if it was still available, and she came back and said, yes, it is. And then she came back again and said, I'm getting a lot of responses and a lot of interest in this. Can you please tell me soon whether or not you are going to buy it, basically. And so I went and I watched some more reviews online. I was trying to decide because it's still not cheap, but every time it was just that sound that just grabbed me. And you know, I usually watch YouTube videos on my phone, so not the best sound output, and even with good sound output, it's not the same as playing it yourself. That's when you really get a feel for what it sounds like. But it's so striking that even through video, even through YouTube compression and listening on my phone, every time I heard it, I just thought, I gotta get that. And so I did, and we'll talk more about that, but let's hear it some more, okay? Just wanted you to hear it straight off the bat, but I am going to be playing it more and talking more about the sound. It just gets me every time. Okay, so let's talk about the specs. We'll get into the more traditional review, and then we'll get more anecdotal again. So this, I mentioned, is a concert size. Currently, Blackbird offers a concert-size pineapple shape, and they have a tenor, more traditional double belt shape made out of eKoa. eKoa is this is the next big striking feature of this model, is it is not made out of wood. There's no wood at all on this ukulele, and there's also no plastic. It is made out of a material that they've named eKoa, which is flax linen fiber strengthened with a bio-based resin. So they've spent nearly 10 years coming up with this formula of this material, and it's proprietary based, which means they don't have a patent on it, because if they made a patent, they'd have to disclose exactly what's in it and the process and everything. And so they're just, you know, keeping that to themselves. And but yeah, these are the only people who are using this eKoa material. The fretboard and the bridge look like ebony, but they are actually Ridgelite, which has been used on guitars and other ukuleles, but that's also a bio-based material. The nut and saddle are made out of Graphtec. The nut is 1.4 inches or 35.51 millimeters. It has Goto planetary tuners, which are super nice and smooth. They're also really attractive. They look like friction tuners, but they actually have a 4-to-1 ratio gear on the inside, which makes them a lot more user-friendly, in my opinion. If you watch this channel, you know I'm not a huge fan of friction tuners. What else can I say? It's got, this particular one has a MySci pickup, which is an option you can get. And let's see if there's any more specs. This one comes with a sunburst finish, so it gradually gets a little darker along the edges, although it's nice and subtle. It's not like super contrasty. And it also has the high gloss finish, which is a lot more expensive. We'll get into price again later in the review. But the standard models come with a natural matte finish, but in the pictures I've seen in the videos, it's still pretty shiny and smooth. It's a nice finish that it just naturally has if you don't upgrade to the high gloss finish. So those are about all the specs. Let's talk a little bit about the construction. So it's made out of 2 pieces mainly. So this whole body, if you can see, the neck and body is all one piece, and headstock, all one piece. And then the top, the soundboard, and the top part of the neck and the top part of the are one piece. And that means the neck is hollow. And according to their website, the hollow neck, see that little hole there? They're calling that a head sound port. I've heard reviews call it like another like sound hole, although not a whole lot of sound comes out of it. But according to their website, that utilizes the entire unibody to resonate, enhancing projection, bass response, and sustain, which I agree with. It's got great bass response, great projection, great sustain, and great resonance. So they're attributing a lot of that to their model of having this unibody where it's the whole body can vibrate. When you're playing it, you can feel it resonating, vibrating in your fretting hand. I mean, the whole neck is resonant. It is the most resonant instrument I've ever played by far. Also, according to the website, let's see. Oh, the offset sound hole. Right, so there's not a traditional sound hole in the middle. It's offset up here. They say that increases responsiveness by enlarging the soundboard's surface area and resonance via 40% longer bracing. And while we're talking about bracing, I believe that is carbon fiber because in their listing on their website, they say that it says that carbon fiber is used in key areas to enhance long-term stability. So I believe there's some carbon fiber maybe in the neck and also the bracing. That's what they originally made their instruments out of, carbon fiber, before they perfected their eKoa. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the eKoa because that's really a big deal about contributing to the sound. This is a very unique sounding instrument because it's the only one made out of this material. And they, according to their website again, they say that it is lighter than carbon fiber, stiffer than fiberglass, and has a superior stiffness to weight ratio than spruce. They've also have mentioned that the eKoa has been engineered to have the same density as old growth wood because they were going for a vintage tone, which again, I think that they nailed that because the only reason why I have any frame of reference on that is because in June I got to play a vintage Martin, and that's another one in my bank of ukuleles I'll never forget and maybe one day will own. But even though that was a soprano and this is a concert, and not just a concert, but a concert that sounds like a tenor or a baritone, it does still have that like vintage quality to it, which is amazing because it's not wood, it's not old growth wood, it's a bio-based plant material. Okay, so moving on from the specs, let's talk about playability. Okay, this is a big one because another thing, I was really looking for another concert size ukulele that I could use for finger picking. I really love finger picking, and my main concert that I use is very bright, and I wanted a warmer sounding one, but I wanted it to be very, very playable. So all these reviews that I looked up before I made that purchase, so all these reviews mentioned that it has superior playability. And so I want to talk about that a little bit because I'm having a couple of issues. It's weird because they say it's like super lightweight, but it doesn't feel that way to me. I weighed it, and again, it has a pickup, but it's 1 pound 6 ounces. In their description, they say 1.2 pounds, I believe. So it's a little bit more than that, but again, it has a pickup, so that makes sense. But it feels a little bit hefty. I don't know why. I don't even know, maybe it's just in my head because the sound is so big. I don't know. But this high gloss finish I'm finding to be very slippery, and it's like moving all around. So it comes with one strap button. So I used my hug strap and I attached it here at the neck, and that helped a little, but it's still very slippery. I think I'm gonna I know Flea sells these little like traction stickers you can put on the back, and I think I'm gonna get that because it's just very slippery, and it affects my playing. So that's one thing. It does have low action, that part for sure, but it also has the neck. Again, this glossy finish is the entire instrument, so the neck is glossy, and I'm finding that a little bit. It's not as smooth for me to move up and down the neck. And there's also no top dots, which I'm okay with now. You can pay $50 more to get the dots on the front. They do, thankfully, come standard on the side. But I realized recently that I don't use my side dots. I'm constantly like peeking over trying and using the front dots, which is not good form. And so this actually is a welcome change for me because it forces me to use the side dots, and I'm able to do that just fine. So not a big deal. And if you wanted front dots, you could do that. You can even get custom inlays, although of course you're going to pay for that. But another factor in playability. So it's I don't know, I gave it a 10 for sound, but for playability not quite, because it's just slippery. And even like putting it down, like I feel like I tried to put it in a chair and it's like sliding down and stuff. It's just it's so smooth and curved, and then with this shiny gloss, I think I would have preferred just the natural finish that it comes with. I do really like the Starburst, but again, it's a package deal. You get the Starburst with the high gloss, and you pay, let me get this right, $425 extra for this staining finish and the high gloss. So that is a lot of money to pay for something that's not really going to affect the sound, at least not enhance the sound, and I think decreases the playability. So I don't necessarily recommend that upgrade, at least for me. I do like the sunburst though. I do think that's really cool. But just talking about the looks of this instrument, I could take it or leave it, to be honest. It is striking, and I like how it's unique. I mean, I like how this instrument is 100% unique and different from every other ukulele on the market. But the actual design, it's not what sold it for me. It's the sound. The sound is by far the front runner feature on this. I forgot to mention though that the eKoa material is very eco-friendly. So it comes from the flax plant, which takes 100 days to grow and doesn't require irrigation. So it's very easy to come by, and so it's very eco-friendly instrument, which is cool. I like that. I think that's really neat, and it's cool that it's a new, innovative material that sounds like old growth wood. I think that's really cool. Okay, and since we've circled back around to eKoa, we're going to talk about the stability of this instrument. Another feature they talk about with eKoa, they say humidity, temperature resistant, and extraordinary hard wearing. That is how they describe it. Now, I believe in the humidity, temperature resistant. I'm sure that's been tested. They even give you figures at -5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -20 degrees Celsius, and 150 degrees Fahrenheit. It'd be safe in that range, which is 66 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty impressive that it's okay in such extreme temperatures and humidity. However, I don't know about the ruggedness of this instrument because mine was damaged. I don't know if you've noticed it yet in my showing, but I will hold it up nice and close. Right here, it has been repaired, and that is why I got such a good deal on this ukulele. It's been repaired right here, and then also on the back. This one's harder to show, but can you see that right there? There's a crack in that high gloss finish right here. So it's possible that you can damage it. And then doing a lot of searching on their website, I did find where they say soundboard can be broken via major impact. And I also looked up their warranty, and it doesn't cover that kind of injury to your ukulele. So there's that. I inquired about it before I bought it. I asked the woman, how did that happen? And she said that she loaned it to a friend who was considering buying one, and that it got crushed somehow, which I find like unbelievable that you wouldn't get every detail on how your very expensive instrument got crushed, but she claims she didn't know exactly, but she said she took it. She said that they said they couldn't. She inquired at Blackbird, and they said they couldn't repair it. And then she took it to a luthier who was able to glue it back on, because what happened was it got crushed, and a little, like about an inch of it was separated from that here. So the luthier was able to glue it back on. So I feel fairly confident that this is a good repair that's not going to come undone, because it is a stable material that's not going to expand or warp or shrink based off of changes in humidity or temperature. So I feel like it's a pretty good repair. Incidentally though, if you look at right where the crack in the finish is right here. You can tell that's where it originated, and then it kind of came off from the sides. It's kind of right across from where this is. So it makes me wonder, like, was it like a dog or something? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I did come across on their website though a review, a 1-star review by a woman who said that she had it in the case that it came with, which I will show you in a minute, and that she dropped it, and same thing, that a part of it came undone from the side. She contacted Blackbird. Blackbird said that it was totaled and that she could turn it in and get a credit for the parts that they were able to reuse, like the tuners, I guess. And she chose not to do that. Same thing, she went to a local luthier and was able to have it glued back on. It even made me wonder if it was the same person because it was such a similar story. But I've heard of two stories total, plus maybe this one, of somebody dropping it and then something happening. So I can't really say very much because I don't have firsthand experience and I don't really know what led to the damage on this one. But it can be damaged, and they really market the fact that this is like the ultimate travel ukulele. And I do believe that in the case of the materials. However, it's still, you can't throw it around. You can't, it can be damaged. So I gotta say that I'm not really like dinging it for that because any ukulele can be damaged. But there's that. Let me get the case while we're talking. All right, so it comes with this case. It's a pretty nice padded case. It's got this little Blackbird. Oh, I just noticed that's a pick in there that you can take out, presumably. Yeah, pick clip. But anyway, it's got this pocket, and it's got, it actually came with this Blackbird certificate of authenticity with a serial number. But this is the case. It's very padded as gig bags go, but this is a very expensive instrument, and you'd think they'd be able to throw in a hard case. Let's talk about the price, okay? The price, just the standard model, is $1,295 for the Clara concert. You can pay $200 extra for a MySide pickup with a Fishman piezo, which means it has controls right here. Now mine doesn't have the controls, it's just the passive pickup, which I actually prefer, but I find that interesting because they always like promote it as it comes with these controls right here. But if you buy it from them, that's $200 more. $50 more for top dots. You can get a radius fretboard, which I've always wanted to try, for $195. The high gloss sunburst finish, $425. So mine, this one, was $1,295 plus $200 for a pickup plus $425 for the finish. So it was almost $2,000 new, and I got it for about a third of that price, a little less than a third of that price, which is pretty amazing. It comes with Oasis fluorocarbon strings, and they recommend a low G, and this one is a low G, wound low G. I'm really excited about doing some sound comparisons on this. I want to fiddle around and find out how it takes to different strings, because I just have this feeling that this ukulele can take whatever string you give it and just enhance the best features of those strings. That's my hypothesis. But anyway, that I just wanted to mention it's super expensive, I think. However, I believe it's partly because of all the research that's gone into this material, but also a big factor is that these are handmade in San Francisco, and most people know California is like one of the most expensive states, probably the most expensive state in America, and that's where they're making these. So I'm not really sure like what their attachment to San Francisco is, why they've chosen to manufacture them there. I like that it is made in America, but I think it could probably be made cheaper anywhere else in America, probably. San Francisco is just, I mean, California is so expensive. But there we have it. Let's listen to it some more. You're going to be hearing lots more of this. This review is getting really long. I knew it'd be long, but there's just so much to talk about with this instrument. It's super resonant. I heard somebody say that it's got the projection and resonance of a baritone, and it does. That's one thing I love about it, because concert is my favorite size. It's the most comfortable for me, but I really love the sound of tenors. And so this one, like, has the feel of a concert, but the sound of like a tenor or a baritone. I mean, it makes me feel like I could stand in a large room and play it acoustically and just fill the whole space. I mean, it is so resonant, but it's also so clear. You can hear every note. You can get super loud and it stays clear. You can play it really soft. In fact, I'm still like learning all the dynamics capable on this instrument and how to play it well. It's just, the sound is, for me, the overall most striking feature of this ukulele, and it's just unbeatable. I mean, it sounds so good. I love it. I did not take this with me on my trip. I went on a long trip. I just talked about it in my last video, and I almost took it with me, and I decided to take my Koaloha. But it was like, I still remembered the sound. And then when I got home and I played it, I was like, oh, I mean, you feel it on your chest, resonating in your hand, in your ears. It's so rich and warm. Oh, it's just, I don't know how they did it, but they did it. I mean, original song that I think is actually very fitting for this ukulele, and not just by the way it sounds, but also the words. But I'm just going to do that in a separate video because this is like my longest review ever. But it's just such a cool instrument. I love it. But let me know what you think. Let me know. This is it. This is her. I'm just going to keep her name Clara, because that's her name. And I found out, because I've done a lot of research, that the owner, Joe Lutwick, named this model after his grandmother. So Clara, that's her name. And she's beautiful, and she sounds even more beautiful. And I feel very lucky to have found such a good deal and to actually have the opportunity to own her. Very cool. Oh, I wish I could just like pass it through and let you try it out, because you kind of have to experience it to really know how special it is. But leave a comment. thanks for watching. I forgot to leave an Easter egg, so I'm going to leave it all the way at the end. If you, I'm going to be doing a giveaway very soon for a Luna pineapple-shaped ukulele, and if you leave a comment, let's see, in the comment, tell me if you were able to spot this damage before I pointed it out. Just tell me that in the comments, and if you do that, and then you end up entering my giveaway that's coming up, that comment's gonna count as a bonus entry, and it's just a little reward for listening to me talk for half an hour. Have a great day, guys. Don't forget to play your uke today. I'll see you really soon. Bye.